What the hell, stupid? You know I can't come until Halloween. Why the heck did you call me a day early?
Show's not ready yet.
All right, here we go again with another episode of Comic Books and Cold Ones. This is the podcast where we have a few brews, talk about comic book obscura. My name's KMac, and I am here with my co-host, some would even say sidekick, Yek. How you doing, Yek?
Pretty good for a sidekick, I guess. Didn't know I was going to get a sick burn on myself starting off the show, but I guess that's how we're going to roll tonight.
Right, I'm going to switch it up a little bit.
How you been doing, KMac?
I've been doing pretty good, just getting in the October spirit, reading a lot of books about Halloween and sorts. How about you?
Well, I haven't been getting much sleep worrying about undead professors of astronomy coming out from underneath my bed and biting me. But I'm better now because we're going to be talking more Boogity books and Beer-tober bitches. That's all right. We got one more episode here in October to talk about fun Halloween-themed books in Comic Done.
Yeah, this is a nice, fun theme, I think, that we're going to do for every October because there also seems to be a whole lot of comic books about Halloween, or other scary things, Yeah, so let's quick drop our social media and email handles. So for email, we're at cbcopodcast@gmail.com. Our Twitter is at CBCO_podcast. And then on Instagram, you can find us at comicbooks_cold ones. All comes up pretty fast when you do that. And we do have one fan shout out today, don't we, Yek?
Well, send it out to Mobile, Alabama, to our fan who consistently watches the show down there, hopefully from the deck of the museum to the Battleship Alabama, where they filmed Under Siege.
Yes, that is what Mobile is known for, I think.
Do you think our fan is actually Steven Seagal?
Yeah. Yeah,
Awesome.
Definitely. Because he's still in Mobile, right?
He's out for justice for us.
Right.
He's hard to kill while listening to Comic Books and Cold Ones. He under sieged in the Dark Territory, which is what we're about to enter to right now.
Well, didn't he have like 2 movies and you could cross the titles? Well, you can cross the titles of all his movies and they sound just like
Hard for justice.
Yes. Hard Decision.
Out to kill.
There's Hard Target and Executive Decision. Right?
Yes. No,
not both his movies though, right? Hard Decision.
No, he was in Executive Decision though for all of 10 minutes.
Those are the best 10 minutes.
Yes.
I didn't watch any more of that movie.
Didn't need to, because we knew our fan Steven Seagal needs more time on air than that. I already got my dose, so we're going to give him some dose in the Dark Territory here. And the thing we're covering tonight in our Boogity Books and Beer-tober bitches, we're doing the first ever Marvel DC crossover. That's right. The first crossover was actually Halloween episodes between the two universes. Who would have thunk? Most people think it occurred in the Spider-Man, Superman crossover in the late 70s. That was just the first time we saw superheroes crossover. But before, in a little town of Rutland, Vermont's second biggest city, or town, or hamlet, or village, or what do you want to call it, some wacky creators started a tradition in the early 1970s, Marvel and DC, where they had an actual crossover event.
Right. And you better not forget that it's the second biggest town in Vermont.
They drop that knowledge on you repeatedly in these comics we're going to be talking about today. So we're very excited. Since it is our first crossover episode in the Universedoms, we decided and had a brilliant decision to order each other beers from our local locales so we can enjoy an actual crossover event ourselves while reading about crossovers in the Marvel and DC universe. KMac's beer successfully arrived at me and got here.
I win.
Whereas mine entered the nexus of realities and crossed over to some other universe in shipment and is being enjoyed by an alternate universe KMac himself, or maybe one of the villains we're going to talk about tonight.
Right, probably Dormammu.
So I do not know what beer I'm going to be drinking tonight because it's still in my box and it's been in my fridge, keeping cold for a couple of days now, and I'm going to be opening it up like a Halloween Christmas present here to drink along.
Right. So this is something we've been waiting on, and next year when we cross over, we'll get it right. Don't shake it like that. Don't shake it.
I'm shaking the box. It sounds like beer. It's gonna explode now.
Yeah, or leak everywhere.
Well, it's quite wrapped up here.
Right, the internet is very clear on how to ship your beer.
The shipper that we ordered from is very good at wrapping these up to keep them safe for us.
Now this is self-wrapped. Yes, self-wrapped by that shipper. All of you beer police out there, remember that.
Ooh. It comes in packaged up, wrapped. Oh. Leftover issues of some faraway newspaper. It's like a little football. You can hear the fun and the excitement in my voice as I unwrap it here.
Yeah, and there's a story behind this, and once you open it and see what it is, I'll tell the story.
Never get there. Oh, it's a giant beer, and it did open up.
Oh, it did?
Yeah. Oh, it is a...
Let me see what it looks like.
A candler. A candler, for all those out there in beer world, is a type of growler that's in the shape of a can that has lesser amounts of beer.
Sometimes called a crowler.
Oh, or a crowler. It is giant.
Did it leak a lot?
No.
Good.
What we're looking at here is, I'm going to need to get a napkin, graham cracker smack. 8.4% alcohol. Canned on 10/17. 1 quart, 32 ounces. Drink fresh from Troubled Waters Brewery. Troubled Waters Beer. And that is located in Safety Harbor, Florida, which looks like it's in the Tampa Bay area. While I go grab a napkin here real quick, I'll let KMac describe his brew that he got me. A little more detail. Go ahead, KMac. Tell us more about this brewery, because this is obviously someplace you visited.
It is. So the beer is actually called Graham Cracker Sandwich.
Graham Cracker Sandwich.
And being down here in Florida, we don't have the luxury of much cool weather, and of course, being in pandemic times, we don't have the luxury of, I think, a huge variety of beers like we usually do. I got this one because it tastes like candy. It's so good. The story behind it is, Troubled Waters Brewing is in Safety Harbor, like you said, which is about an hour south of where I am, 45 minutes south of where I am. I called the dude about this beer. His name is Nathan, right? And he usually doesn't can it, but he canned it special for us.
Awesome.
Yeah, he usually doesn't can 2 either, but he canned 2 special.
I was wondering, I did see somebody listening from Sarasota, Florida in our listings. So I'm ready to crack this open and pour it out.
Me too.
All right, I'm going to crack it open. You'll crack yours open?
Yep.
Okay.
Shouldn't have shook that.
It's Christmas. Yeah, Halloween miss. Ooh, that's got some coffee notes. Oh, and it's spilling everywhere. These giant cans.
Yeah, so it's an Imperial Double Porter, and it's made with toasted marshmallow, graham crackers, cacao nibs, 8.3 ABV. And again, just a shout out to Nathan at Troubled Waters Brewing for putting these ones together for us. Yeah,
awesome. I am really pumped to try this when it foams down here. That's a big can, boys and girls.
Oh, that's good beer.
Okay. Yeah, mine's a little foamy because it got shaken somehow, inexplicably, while the show was going on. Okay, so just to give you a little background. So as I said, these universes are crossing up in Marvel and DC here, and they didn't start out all of a sudden when they crossed over. In Rutland, the local town is known for its Halloween parade that was started in the 50s. And the local organizers of the parade thought of a great idea that it should be superhero themed. And
Tom Fagan,
in the 50s, because his description is, we needed a creature of the night to lead the parade, and so he thought Batman was the perfect creature of the night to lead the parade. And he started talking with all the people at Marvel and DC, writing them letters, and slowly become friends and love with them, and started inviting them up to the Halloween parade. And by the time the 12th one rolled around, or the 10th or 12th one, somewhere in the 10, right around 10 to 11, they came up and realized how great it was, and like how all these characters, people were interested in characters, and what a great idea it was. And so in 1970, Marvel decided to set an Avengers number 83 actually in the town of Rutland during Halloween, during the parade, to commemorate the event and also support the parade, and also just kind of be a weird, fun thing where things actually occur in reality as well as Marvel comicdom.
Did you try it yet?
I'm just what I'm going to do. I'm taking a swig here. We're going to take my pictures. Okay. I just can smell it. It smells really good.
Yeah, it is really good. Sweet.
Yeah, I taste the burnt marshmallows, or the toasted marshmallows. A little bit of graham cracker cake taste, the cocoa nibs. Yeah, I like porters. Porters are one of my favorite styles. As you know, Kevin, KMac, all stouts are porters, but not all. No, all stouts are porters, but not all porters are stouts.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You've heard it here first.
Yes, just to let you people out there know my beerdom. So getting back to Avengers 83, big time. They decided to set a comic book there, and it starts off really weird because all the single ladies happen in action when at Avengers Mansion, Valkyrie comes swooming in and decides to propose an own Lady Liberty Liberators, all girls team to get back at being underrepresented and down put by the men. And it starts off with the Wasp flying into the first ever meeting of the Lady Liberators, which who are the Lady Liberators officially?
Well, so there was Wasp, like you said, Black Widow, Scarlet Witch, and Medusa. And they're all meeting there. I think they're meeting. Are they in Avengers Mansion?
They're at Avengers Mansion because all the dude Avengers are gone away because they went up to Rutland. But you don't find out until a little bit later.
Right.
They're at the mansion.
Like you said, Valkyrie, it's like, let's get back at these guys. We can do it all too. And it's strange. I mean, it seems like it came out of nowhere from the issue before.
Yeah, it was just in medias race. Wasp comes in out of nowhere. It's like, well, what are all my lady friends doing here? All my lady superhero friends getting together for? Are they having a stitching bitch? Are they having a flex and mess? Whatever super ladies do when they get together by themselves, in like a book club or something. I don't know what super ladies do. Do they have a power off?
Right.
compare costumes because that's what the Wasp does. But the best part about this is that they go against their grievance against the male chauvinist superheroes, which I totally agree with. But the best is they have live, reel to reel photo camera action footage of instances where the male character usurped their fame or stood in the way of them getting their full just due as superheroines. Right.
They saved that just for this occasion.
Yes. Valkyrie brought along the AV Club, but you never see the AV Club. Because the AV Club's people, if you're ever in the AV Club, you were always in the friend zone, even with Lady Liberators.
Right. Yeah, they go hand in hand. What I liked is, when I'm reading it for the first time, and later on they kind of explain this, but Valkyrie's origin is so crazy. It's not. I mean, she looks like the normal Valkyrie you'd see, but her origin is that she got her powers from a smoking vial of chemicals. But then she has flying horses too.
Yeah,
just out of nowhere.
She's able to get out of nowhere. So yeah, she got her powers from inventing some serum, and she tried to get her male scientist counterpart to actually accept it that it was a great achievement. And he went, of course, "Bah, you're a woman. What can you do?" She's like, "No, I'm a scientist." And next thing you know, she became Valkyrie, and she's getting back in the male chauvinist, which I wholeheartedly agree with. So they jump on the horse steed to go to Rutland, Vermont, because that's where the Avengers at the time, which is one of the weird Avengers series here, where you had none of the big names, you just had some of the minor names at the time. So in the Avengers that had already gone to Rutland to take part in the Rutland parade, we had Vision, Black Panther, Quicksilver, and Goliath, Clinton Barton, Hawkeye Goliath, not Hank Pym Goliath.
Suspender Goliath.
Yeah. So they're already there. They meet up at Tom Pagan's house, and the actual person from Rutland that organized the Halloween parade for the 12th annual Halloween parade. So this is the 11th annual parade. They're there. Tom's there at his house where he hosts his big party, and in come real superheroes to take part in the parade with him and ride on the floats, which is pretty cool. So a real life person. I don't know if this is the first time that I would say somebody of modernity, not a famous person, somebody that's just a regular Joe Schmo guy, actually got his immortalized in comics.
Right, where they you mentioned his name, and they used his actual persona in the books. It might be, I don't know, but it's really cool how he's in there.
So, of course,
but he's not the only real person in there. So some comic book creators are there too.
yeah. So written in this issue, also at Tom Fagan's party, are one Marvel staff member with the name of Roy Thomas, who's the editor supreme after Stan Lee for Marvel Comics in much of the 70s, along with his wife, Jeannie Thomas. They're both in costume. Roy Thomas is actually wearing a Spider-Man costume that was made as a promotional thing for Marvel in the 60s for actually using the Macy's Day Parade, even though it never got used, but it became a thing to wear around the bullpen at the time. And so
That's awesome.
Roy Thomas got to wear it up to Rutland, and his wife at the time, Jeannie Thomas, got to dress up as Invisible Girl to go along with him. And so they're there, and they actually mention them by name, and you see them, and they actually appear in other issues we'll be talking about tonight also. But that's pretty cool. Tom Fagan is in the costume of Nighthawk, even though in the real parade he always dressed up as Batman because they couldn't do the copyright issues. But Nighthawk being, of course, the Batman of the Marvel Universe, even though he's a villain. And they ask him why he's dressed up as a villain. He goes, I'm dressed up as a creature of the night.
And now who is Nighthawk the villain of?
So he is one of the Squadron Supreme from the alternate universe.
That's right.
And he's the one that ends up taking out the Squadron Supreme using his Batman skills, similar to what Batman does in the Batman War series, or Justice League War, where he has a file on everybody and takes them all out.
Right. I remember now.
Yeah.
His costume, more modern books, his costume's a lot different.
Yes. So that is Nighthawk of the time. I believe later on there is a hero Nighthawk that comes into being in the regular Marvel 616. But this is in reference to the Squadron Supreme alternate universe Nighthawk.
Well, that makes sense. Yeah. And then so what happens? The reason the Avengers are there is because there was a threat to kidnap a mathematician named T.W. Irwin.
T.W. Irwin?
Yeah. Is he a real person too or no? He's just...
I looked up. He is not a real person, but he's working on what's the machine he's working on?
Oh, geez. I can't remember.
It's some type of parallel time universe machine that he's working on, and he is a professor at a certain local New England university, goes by the name of Miskatonic University, which is a shout out to
Lovecraft.
H.P. Lovecraft. So we have Cthulhu orchestrating this as well in Rutland, Vermont, which is also most of the Lovecraft things are set in the New England area as well. So under the mountains in these areas.
All right. And so the Masters of Evil that show up are Claw, Melter, Radioactive Man, and Whirlwind.
So yeah, into the town while the parade's going on, all these Masters of Evil jump in, and you can't tell if they're part of the parade or another part of the parade until they start firing off at people, and the Avengers had to go into action.
Right. Now, Radioactive Man has the best weapon. He has the cement gun. Yep. What can you do with that? I don't know.
He does put cement around the Vision, and the Vision for some reason can't turn into invisible. You can't become intangible because it'll get mixed up with the wet cement somehow and screw up his circuitry. I've always liked the Melter's power, where all he does is melt things.
Right. You would think that. It seemed their powers seemed duplicative here.
I melt.
Radioactive Man. What do you do? I melt cement.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
the Radioactive Man actually has radiation powers, where he can emit radiation and get stronger from radiation and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But for some reason, in this issue, he has the cement gun. I guess he was feeling left out with the Claw having the sound gun in his hand, Melter having the melter gun, and Whirlwind just being really speedy and fast.
Yeah. So the Masters of Evil take out the Avengers, essentially, the male Avengers, and then the Lady Liberators come. The first thing they do is they take out the Masters of Evil, and then they start taking out the male Avengers.
Yep, for showing them up.
Yep, for showing them up at Valkyrie's instruction. But surprise, surprise, their heel turn doesn't last, right?
Yep, because all of them know Valkyrie, when they're near the parallel time, to get the parallel time machine, she becomes the Enchantress. And that's how she was able to mesmerize the Lady Liberators at the time, and to not knowing that they weren't actually taking out their good chums, even though they were male chauvinists. she just played up on those underlying feelings to get her to follow him. And
Right.
then,
And the Wasp had figured it out ahead of time, right? She had a tell.
yeah, because the Wasp, when they first met in Rutland, Valkyrie yelled at her, "Winch, you got to go do this." And Wasp had remembered one time before being called a winch by Enchantress, and knew something was up when she was being called a winch.
Yeah. And one part I really liked is at the end, the Enchantress is like, "I can't believe you guys believe that ridiculous origin story I told you." So it's, I like when, when you're reading something and you're thinking this is ridiculous, and later on the character's like, "That was ridiculous. I can't believe you believe that."
Actually, it was Scarlet Witch was concerned when Enchantress called Wasp a winch. Yeah, because Scarlet Witch had been called the winch by the Enchantress. That's what happened.
Ah, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. But the best part of these things is, so it's just a nice, neat story that all gets wrapped up, and then they have the Halloween thing. But the cool thing about these, this is the first attempt to do this kind of this in life with the real Halloween parade, and it kind of lays the groundwork for the bigger ones that are coming up that we're going to talk about. But they also draw in other superheroes within these, and so part of the scavenger hunt is kind of a Where's Waldo of people in costumes and trying to figure them out. And that's kind of what we did here when we look at them. So in in the parade and in the house party, the Halloween house party, you get a faux Red Skull Doctor Doom drinking some beers, a Captain America, a Spider-Man, a Namor, a Thor, a Doctor Strange, and a Daredevil. But even cooler is on the DC side, you do have a Batman sighting, as well as the Crypt Keeper from EC Comics, famous for, not only for the Tales from the Crypt comic book, but later on all the TV shows. But the Crypt Keeper makes an appearance.
Oh, I missed him.
Yeah. And all his silly channeling, rhyming. It's scare time. So they show up. So part of the fun of that is seeing all those things. So that happened in Avengers 83 in December 1970. They liked it so much when DC read it and saw, they didn't want to be left out of the parade. So in 1971, they decided to do a Batman 237 set in Rutland during the Halloween parade, and also around Tom Fagan's party. Kick that off for us, Kevin. Who drew this?
Yeah, so this one has art by Neil Adams and Dick Giordano, and it's written by Denny O'Neil.
Famous Denny O'Neil.
Yeah.
And they actually have a shout out to Bernie Wrightson and Harlan Ellison, the famous science fiction writer, also contributed part of the story to this. So as much as anything, this is like most of the Batman one-shots of those ages, which is the one-shot story, but they were able to set in Rutland. And it's kind of an interesting way where they get up there. So the comic book starts out with Dick Grayson and some of his buddies that we've never seen before in the Batman comics, hanging out driving up from Gotham to see the Rutland Halloween parade. Dick Grayson's buddies are one Alan Weiss, one Gerry Conway, and one Bernie Wrightson. All of them creators for a little comic book company called DC Comics. So once again, we're getting real life staff members appearing in this comic. So they start immediately walking along with Dick Grayson the parade. The parade's going on. And at the parade, you get to see cool things like Captain America, Havok.
Yeah, that's my favorite one. That of all the X-Men they put in this, they have someone dressed up as Havok, and he's like sleeping on a couch.
Yeah, and I can't remember if the reason they have Havok is one of those creators was actually working on X-Men at the time also, or somebody helped create Havok. I wasn't certain. I didn't go.
Might have been. I know Len Wein worked on X-Men, I think, for a little while. Interesting. I'll have to check that out.
So the story starts out with them walking along, raving about the parade, and all of a sudden they see a guy dressed as Robin or actually dressed as Batman. Is it Batman or Robin? I can't remember. I believe it is Robin getting beat down.
Doesn't he find a dead Batman first, or does he find a Robin?
No, Batman finds the dead Batman first. Later on,
Batman finds the dead Batman.
Yeah. So they wander on, they stumble onto these guys checking up a Robin, and all of a sudden, the comic creators somehow, unlike any comic creator ever in the world, are able to fight somewhat along with Dick Grayson, but he can't use all his Robin powers, or it'll give him away that he's also Robin, not just Dick Grayson. And so they don't quite handle him because the dirty brigands are using Billy Jacks and whack him in the head. In classic Batman 70s styles, people get whacked in the head with Billy Jacks.
Right. And then
Blackjacks.
Dick Grayson manages to sneak away,
Yeah.
dressed as Robin. And his friends just have no idea where he went.
Yeah. And then later we cue it up where Robin's woozy in a house with a doctor, and Batman comes in and goes, "We found you just in time," basically. And the doctor's treating him for his wounds. And he's like, "Oh my God, what you doing here, Batman's?" And Batman's like, "I'm coming here because I heard about a threat on the Halloween parade, and I'm here to check it out."
Right. And Robin got attacked by a Grim Reaper. I thought that at that point he found the dead Batman, and then he got attacked by the Grim Reaper, and then Batman found him. And then brought him to the doctor.
That's when they found the dead Batman between them. Yeah, and brought him to the doctor, and he goes, "Yeah, something." Batman had got word that there was some bad things going on, and the doctor himself had called Batman to bring him to town because, lo and behold, there's a real bad guy in town, not just your typical run-of-the-mill criminal. There's a Nazi fugitive, Colonel Kurt Schloss, which means Kurt Castle if you translate it from the German.
Ooh.
So Kurt Schloss is there, and the reason I know is because the doctor had recognized him in town, or had spotted him in town, and realized that he was a fugitive Nazi in town, and they surmise that those guys were also looking for him that attacked Robin. So we have more Nazis than we can point a stick at.
Right, suddenly Nazis. There's bound to be whenever you're doing any theme, you're bound to find Nazis somewhere in these in comics, right?
Yeah. But we've also seen this Grim Reaper character appear, and he appears to be taking out bad guys as well. Right. And so Batman goes out to investigate, but part of that investigating is he finds out that Kurt Schloss had hidden Nazi gold, because there's always Nazi gold, and these other guys, he was going to hold it out from the other Nazis. And so they go out in search of it, and so Batman has to mingle in at the party of superheroes eventually to see if there are any of the Nazis in costume hiding there. And so we get some more great comic characters in there. We get a Batman, a Batgirl, a Robin, a Man-Bat, and I think it's a woman dressed as Man-Bat too, which is awesome. We get a Phantom Stranger, we get a Hawkman, we get a Shazam, we get a Fat Superman, which is my favorite.
Superman, he was my favorite too.
We get a Fat Superman, we get a Solomon Grundy, and we get an Aquaman in a mask. For some reason, they dress up. A number of the characters always dress up and also wear a mask. And part of this also, there is a Thor there with a normal hammer, a fat Thor with a normal hammer.
Oh yeah, I saw that too.
And he's shooting the bull, making fun of a guy that writes comic books that says he writes comic books for a living. That's not in costume, and that person happens to write comic books for a living that he's making fun of is one Denny O'Neil. And two other creators actually appear also at the party, and they're dressed as Cain and Abel from House of Mysteries and House of Secrets, and those turn out to be Len Wein as Cain and Mark Hanfield as Abel. And there's actually pictures from the real Rutland Halloween parade of that year with those guys dressed as Cain and Abel. So this is a story about a real life event with real life creators really attending there at the parade.
Yeah, I bet they actually really did have to deal with Nazis and Nazi gold, and they just added in the superheroes to make it more believable.
Well, that's part of the reason they have the two other suggested story guys saying, no, people need to make this more believable. We know there's going to be Nazis and Nazis gold, but you're going to have a more comic booky theme. So that's the reason they came up with the Grim Reaper thing. And so, lo and behold, Batman finds out that he's searching around. And he finds out the Nazis are there, and they are there. They're going to take out Kurt Schloss, and they've been using Tom Fagan's signal on the top of his house. Tom Fagan at the party is dressed as Batman, of course, and he has a spooky blinking light at the top of the house that they use to send out Morse code that Batman recognizes.
That's a little weird.
Yeah.
The spooky tower, Morse code.
So he ends up getting in a fight with a couple of Nazis at the top that are dressed as pirates, because he finds out they're dressed as pirates. Which, that just gives pirates a bad name when
it
Nazis
does.
Yeah.
I mean, pirates, they're just trying to make a living.
They're just trying to get booty.
Right.
They like gold and booty, but they don't believe in master races or anything like that. Pirates are very inclusive.
Yeah, anyone can be a pirate.
Anyone can be a pirate. Are gender neutral. They like it all.
Right. They don't care how many eyes you have, how many feet you have.
They're very accepting of the differently abled.
They are. They sure are.
Yeah.
Oh,
total black eye on the world of pirates to be associated with Nazis.
yeah, yeah. I think it's part of the Nazi plan.
Yeah, so Batman finds out that they're actually signaling to Kurt Schloss or to other Nazis to blow up Kurt Schloss in his car.
Yep, and they do.
Yeah,
And Batman can't save him.
Boom! Batman can't save him.
Right, but then so, and it's been a couple of weeks since I read this. Tell me how the Grim Reaper ties into the Nazis and blowing up Colonel
So
Schloss.
after Colonel Schloss gets go boomed, the Robin thinks the mystery's all solved. It's all wrapped up in a nice thing because it's all good. But Batman says there's this Grim Reaper guy that's been out there killing the Nazis also. When you haven't solved that yet, and Robin's like, huh? And he goes, yeah, I think I've already solved that. And we find out in a big chase, but down by a river, Batman goes down and meets the Grim Reaper, who's all sullen. And we find out it's the doctor who was a Jewish concentration camp survivor, and the Kurt Schloss had killed all his family, and he wanted revenge on all the dirty Nazis.
Right now, did he blow up his car, or was it the other Nazis?
It was the other Nazis that had wired it.
Right, but did
And
he alert the other Nazis to Schloss's presence?
we don't know. That's never.
Okay,
My understanding is that I think the other Nazis just show up to get the gold, and they're
that
already on
makes
his
sense.
hard on his tail, and Schloss realizes this is a chance to adopt the Grim Reaper persona, which is this is the first time there's a Grim Reaper appear in DC Comics. Later on, there's another one in Batman Year 2,
Ooh,
who also is a vengeful character that takes out criminals by killing them. But
well, that
this
makes
one,
sense.
yeah.
So,
So
what surprised me about this Grim Reaper is he's just an old guy, right?
he's not just an old guy. He's an old guy that survived concentration camps, and he's old enough to
True.
be a doctor from World War II, and this is 1970. So he's got to be 50 plus. Maybe he looks like he's 60 plus.
Yeah, and he really kicks Batman's butt for a little bit.
They get in a fight because
Like
Batman's like, I
he's
gotta bring you in.
yeah,
And
and
so
Batman's getting his ass whooped a little bit by this dude.
in classic 70s, Batman can't beat anybody up the first go around. He's not the master of martial arts we expect. And he gets in a fight, and they get into a big chase, and Robin's friends have also spooked out because they saw the Grim Reaper, and the Grim Reaper comes up on them and chases after him, and one of the creators falls down, and I believe it is Alan Weiss. Yeah, Alan Weiss falls down, and the Grim Reaper's going to kill him because he's so mad with rage at the top of this bridge overlooking like a gorge.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
he starts to swing the scythe, and the Star of David that Alan Weiss is holding gets caught up in the Grim Reaper scythe, and he realizes he's going to kill another member of the tribe, and he realizes he's gone too far, and he eventually falls off, and he goes, boo!
And that guy, that Alan Weiss, he's pretty much stoned the entire time in the
Yes.
comic. At least they're alluding to that. It's pretty funny.
Yes. So that's what's exciting about that episode. So it's singular and insular, but it like DC wanted to take part in it, and so the DC creators have already been going up there for the parade also, and this being also set in the 11th annual parade. So even though it's basically a year after the other one, they set it at the similar timeline as the previous Marvel Avengers one.
Right. And now the one thing I want to say about this issue, the artwork is really, really good. I really thought the artwork was good.
Well, it's Neil Adams, yeah.
For 1971, yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's this is wheelhouse height of Neil Adams doing Batman comic, which are just awesome looking, especially when he's drawing the creator stoned.
right. Well, when you contrast this with one of the like the Justice League issue we're going to talk about later, the art is just like out of this world in this issue compared to that one.
Yeah.
No knock on anyone, I can't draw, but
yeah. But just to make my point, the big creator that was involved in this one is Gerry Conway, because he shows up a little bit later. But also, I want to point out that at the party there was another appearance of our favorite editor from Marvel, dressed in a Spider-Man costume, but he's not in a Spider-Man costume. What costume is he in? He's in the Web-slinger Lad costume, who's his favorite. He tells another costumed person at the party.
Oh yeah, and that costume wasn't really. There's something about that costume I read, but I can't remember what it is. Like similar to probably what you said before about how it's a costume that's not really used.
Yeah, it was the
same one?
The promotional costume. Roy Thomas makes a second appearance at the Rutland parade, along with his wife Jeannie Thomas, who's dressed as Invisible Girl. Good, but he's not Spider-Man in this one. He's Web-slinger Lad.
Web-slinger Lad. Yeah.
Because they
Okay,
can't get
that's
him.
right. I remember that now because they can't use the name.
Yeah. Which
Sorry, a
is,
little slow on the uptake this evening.
well, that beer, which is pretty
I
good
know.
at 8.4%. It's kicking me
Yeah.
in, and it's a little rainy and cool here, so this is like perfect for some fireside Halloween chatting.
Yeah, and since it's in one crowler, we have to drink the whole thing tonight.
I do.
Yep.
I do. So that's the first toe in the water by DC, and then we have one more toe in the water before we have our big crossover event, and this appears in Marvel feature number 2, March 1972, with art by Ross Andrew, and the story this time actually by Roy Thomas,
Yeah, I like this one. This one was fun.
in a little tale called Nightmare on Bald Mountain. So you want to break it down for us, Kevin?
Yeah, so it starts out again in Rutland, Vermont. There is a cult on Bald Mountain, and Bald Mountain is the mountain right outside Rutland, and they're trying to summon Dormammu, who is as everyone should know, he's the dude whose head is lit on fire, Doctor Strange villain. He was I guess the main bad, although you didn't see him till the end in the Doctor Strange movie. So there's this cult, and they're trying to summon him, and it's the night before Halloween.
And they look like a bunch of Satanists, of course. So it's
Yeah,
classic.
they look like
classic.
Satanists.
Yeah.
They have on like druid robes and hoods, and it's the night before Halloween, and they summon Dormammu, and so they're talking to him through this portal, and Dormammu's like, "What the hell, stupid? You know I can't come until Halloween. Why the heck did you call me a day early?
Show's not ready yet."
I know. I had lit my head on fire and everything, and I can't cross over until Halloween. So go get my sacrifice and don't come back until you do. It was Dormammu was just like, stop. It's hard to get good cult help these days.
It's not easy because all the other DC demons, they got Mephisto, and everybody else is hacking on, and Chthon. They've all got their the pool of talent just ain't that much. It's hard to get good help.
Yeah, I can imagine when that portal closed, Dormammu just sat down in a chair and put his head down. And he's like, Jesus, what the hell? They can't do anything right.
God, I got to put out a new ad on Craigslist. This is terrible.
I thought that was great. That's my favorite part of that issue. But then we flash over to New York City, and Doctor Strange is in his Sanctum Sanctorum.
Sanctum Sanctorum.
Yes, Holy of Holies. And
I think it might be my favorite base.
Yeah,
that's the side. It might be.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool base. I like it. It's hidden in plain sight.
Yeah. So what's Doctor Strange up to that night?
Well, Doctor Strange, he gets into his astral form, and while he's doing that, some people dressed up in cult outfits come and kidnap his body. So they have to fight Wong for it, and they take out Wong pretty easily. They cast a spell on Doctor Strange's body to prevent his astral form from coming back in, and they take his body and they put it in a car and they drive away. And then Wong, he calls Clea to come help, and eventually she wakes him up. She wakes up Wong, doesn't she?
Yeah, but before this all happens, Doctor Strange, before he goes to astral form, gets these funny vibrations that something's going down in the universe, and he spies in on the Hulk and Namor, just in case he needs to call them.
Right. And then so Clea is able to, you learn later, she summons Namor and the Hulk to New York City to help them come find Doctor Strange. And one thing that's neat about this that I thought was cool, when Namor was, when they, it's kind of funny, Namor's just sitting on the shore, like eating clams, like shucking clams, right? And I can't remember if that's when Doctor Strange saw him or when Clea summoned him, but he's just shucking clams.
Yeah, he's sitting there having his clam dinner.
Right. So there's this part of this the issue where he's
big
flying
pescatarian, Namor, big pescatarian.
Oh yeah. That's how he gets so strong.
Yeah.
That helps you grow wings on your feet.
Yeah.
So he's flying to New York City, and there's this scene where he has to fly underneath a radar. Right? Do you remember that? There was like a military radar base, and they say that's in Breezy Point, New York, which is one town over from where I was born.
Did you see him that night?
In Rockaway. I did. Well, what year was that? 1972? No, I did not see him that night. No. But my parents might have.
Yeah. Have you asked your mom and dad, did you see Namor this night?
I'll check with them. Because clearly, like, people saw him near buildings, thought he was a peeping Tom.
Yeah. So he lands in New York City. Classic New York, start yelling and throwing stuff at him, and he bumps into the Hulk, and of course they get into a classic Hulk Namor Donnybrook with them name calling and starting to punch each other. until Clea shows up and is like, "Stop it, stop it."
And then she changes Hulk back into Banner with a spell, gives Namor some street clothes.
So she's like, she drops the knowledge that Doctor Strange's body has been taken, and they had to go up to Rutland, Vermont, where his body's been taken on Bald Mountain, and get him back. And they're both like, Dr. S has always been a friend to me. I'll help out.
They're all at this point. Were they in the Defenders together already?
They have formed the Defenders, but they're like in it's not a regular comic yet. They're only appearing in fanfare. This is one of the feature. They're only appearing in a feature, and this is like number 2 of kind of like them still
testing it out.
Yeah, because the Defenders have founded around problems that none one of them can solve, but they will join together only to solve them, then break up immediately. So they're a team they're the anti-team.
Gotcha. And so they give Banner a bunch of tranks so he doesn't turn back into the Hulk. So he's just groggy along for the ride. They take a bus, am I right? A bus up to Vermont? This is the 70s.
Doctor Strange don't got no car for them riding. And I don't know if Wong has his license and Clea can't drive because she's the daughter of Dormammu from another dimension. never had driver's ed, so they had to take a bus.
Right. Namor can't drive either. Although there is an issue. Oh, when we were doing our summer comications, right? There was an issue that I read. You remember how the Savage Land first appeared in the 40s?
Yeah.
There was a second story in that issue where Namor went to see some mechanic to buy a car from him and drove the car away. So I know Namor can drive a car.
Yeah.
But it might have been 30 years at that point since you've driven a car.
Did he say Imperious Rex when he turned on the engine? Imperious Rex.
Of course. There was a big Imperious Rex painted along the side.
But so the best part is when they dress up Namor in like a suit and overcoat, like a businessman, and he has a fedora on, and he looks like Spock from the Star Trek episode where they go back to the 1930s or 20s with the gangsters. He was just like
he has the pointy ears.
And when they dress Wong up, he looks just like Dr. Xavier, but with legs.
They get to the mountain.
Well, they get to Rutland.
Oh, they get to Rutland first. Go ahead. You talk about what they see when they get to Rutland.
Well, they get to Rutland and they're fumbling around, and people have been talking about the strange things going up on Bald Mountain. And a local guy by the name of Tom Fagan, making his third appearance in Comicton, is talking about the superstitions and whatnots that go on up at Bald Mountain to another 2 people that we've seen before. Roy Thomas and Jeannie Thomas are there, and he's talking to them, telling them about all those spookity things that go on up on Bald Mountain. And that's how they find out there's something going down on Bald Mountain. Maybe that's where they have to go.
And that's
but they're not in costume for this episode.
Ah, good point.
Because it's the day before the parade.
Still
just
the day before.
right when the parade's getting ready to be put together.
So they get to the mountain, and now there's like 36 cult druid dudes that Namor and the Hulk have to fight. And this isn't your normal like modern day powered Namor and the Hulk where they can lift up mountains. Namor and the Hulk have a lot of trouble beating these cult guys, which is funny. But eventually they do. But so what the cult's plan is for Dormammu to enter the body of Doctor Strange and inhabit his body, and that's how he can enter their realm. What they do, how do they beat him again? Oh, Doctor Strange is hiding in Wong's body.
Yep.
So Doctor Strange ends up inhabiting his body, like for the moment when the spell is lifted, because the spell would prevent Doctor Strange's astral form from going back into his body, but they had to lift it to let Dormammu's astral form go into Doctor Strange's body. But Doctor Strange slipped right in, and Dormammu did not enter the world. But didn't Doctor Strange have to go and fight Dormammu?
He fought Dormammu when Dormammu was playing. So this is very important. It's like a nexus of realities here at Bald Mountain and in Rutland. So and Dormammu was there. So this is our first magic use of Doctor Strange also. And so they defeat him. They do make a brief appearance. I believe it's at Fagan's party, and we do get to see some people in costumes. So we get to see an Iron Man, a Valkyrie, a Quicksilver, a Captain America, a Thor. I believe we saw Marvel Girl, a rough looking thing, some guy dressed as Human Torch. And my favorite is, I think there's a Howard the Duck at the parade. There's a kid that looks like he's dressed as a duck, and I think it is Howard the Duck.
Would that be when was Howard the Duck first?
I don't know.
When was he created? Could it have been Donald Duck?
Yeah, it may have been Donald Duck. I don't know.
We'll just say this is the first appearance of Howard the Duck. You've heard it here
So Howard
first.
the Duck first appeared
Marvel Future
in
2.
1973, and this is 1972. So maybe this is just the initial concept of a
Oh,
kid dressed as Howard the
yeah.
Duck.
I wonder who created him.
Let's see. None of the guys that we're talking about today.
All right.
Steve
So
Gerber and
maybe.
Val Mayrick.
All right. Well, you never know, right?
Well, this is our deep dive. Did Howard the Duck come into existence because those two creators were reading this issue?
Of course.
Yes.
Well, really, what it is they came to the future, listened to this podcast, then went back in time, and then did it.
Dropped Howard the Duck in.
Yes. You're welcome, everybody.
But just to give you the heads up, though, yeah. So we have, for the first time, Doctor Strange Dormammu appearing. So this is working its way to some more of my schemings on the bigger things that go on in the Marvel universe.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and
interesting.
The Defenders. Yeah.
Yeah. So later, that I'm looking forward to talking about the Defenders. That looks like all sorts of crazy.
Okay. So they had the success with these 3 issues in three years in a row from 1970, 1971, 1972. And so a few of the creators got together, mainly Steve Englehart and I believe Gerry Conway, and decided to do the first ever crossover in a number of issues, namely 3 issues, but they had one setup issue in Thor 206 in 1972.
Let me pause you there for a second. So you said Conway and Englehart?
Yeah, I believe they were the 2 guys that kind of figure. Englehart writes the most stories of these, I think.
Okay. Now, they both work for Marvel, right?
At the time, Conway was working for, I believe, Marvel and DC. I think he did stories from both.
Okay,
because he
that makes
appeared.
sense.
The big thing is, if you remember back to the Batman issue I was talking about, Gerry Conway's one of the people that's with Robin, with Dick Grayson. And so he's the impetus for why these creators end up going to the parade. But we have a first setup issue in Thor number 206, where it starts out with Absorbing Man getting blasted to life in the Southwest, Crusher Creel coming back to life after he'd been smacked down by Doctor Strange and the X-Men, I believe, or maybe it was Hulk, Doctor Strange and Hulk or something. Yeah, I can't remember.
Maybe back when the villains kind of crossed over with different heroes more.
Yeah. So he gets put out of business, but he comes back to life, and he has this pain, and all he needs to do is he needs to get to New York. So he gets zapped to New York. Then all he wants to do is stop the pain, and he doesn't know where the pain's coming from. And he lands in, and Thor finds out. But before Thor finds out, 2 little ladies see him. And who are those little ladies?
Sif and Hildegard.
Yes.
And Sif is super in love with Thor, but Thor is the
Dreamy Heart
adoring man's
Stars.
pain.
Yeah. Dreamy Heart Stars.
Yeah. She loves him. But Thor is the adoring man's pain, right?
Yeah. So Sif is on the planet. You saw Sif, and of course in the Thor movies, she made an appearance in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She is what Marvel makes up as the warrior goddess of the Asgardians, but this is before she becomes the super warrior goddess, because she has her attaché, that her bodyguard, that's Hildegard, who's a big bulky Viking woman with blonde hair that just complains about stuff and tries to keep her out of trouble.
Similar to the woman from Game of Thrones. I can't remember her name.
Brianna Tarth.
Yeah, and currently Sif is Heimdall. Has Heimdall's powers. We talked about that in the Thor episode.
In our last episode, yes.
Last episode.
Two episodes. Yeah.
Yeah. Halloween is just one big episode.
This beer is really good, people. You got to try this graham cracker smacks.
Graham cracker sandwich. Yes. And you have to visit Safety Harbor, and it's other places around here too. I've seen they have it on tap a few places. But if you want it special canned, talk to Nathan.
So Absorbing Man gets brought to life. He comes to New York City. Sif and Hildegard start to try to take him down. They're not successful. Thor finds out, starts laying a beat down on him, and then Absorbing Man takes it back to him and starts whooping Thor's butt. And all of a sudden, Thor gets mystically zapped away and ends up in Rutland. But in between, then we have this little interlude story where we have some stranger appear in Rutland, haggard looking, and he's approaching a big house on a hill that looks like a mansion that we have seen before, where there might be Halloween parties. And what mansion's that?
That's Tom Fagan's mansion.
What?
So Tom Fagan takes in, this guy comes up on his lawn, and he really freaks out Tom Fagan.
In the 1970s, you could be a vagrant and just walk around people's lawns and be like, "What's up? How's it going?"
Yeah, come on in. He did freak out Tom Fagan's dogs.
And his dogs'
Uh,
names are
oh, geez, his dogs' names are like Satan and something
Diablo.
else. Diablo.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So good and mild mannered Tom Fagan has the dogs names of Satan and Diablo. For you kids out there, Diablo is El Espanol for the devil,
Yes. El
and
Diablo.
Satan is English for the devil.
Wasn't there a villain named El Diablo?
I believe so. Yes,
Is he DC?
I can't remember.
I think he is.
Want to learn?
Oh well, who
Is
cares?
that the dog? Is he in dog format now?
Might be. Might be. Yeah, so it turns out that this vagrant is none other than who is the villain that's always at Thor,
Well,
like
we don't
he's
know
always
this yet.
prodding
We
Thor.
don't know
Well,
this
we
yet. We
don't.
don't know this yet because Tom Fagan brings him in. He's like, "You can rest with me for a while." Absorbing Man gets sent sucked away from Thor after he beats Thor down, and then Absorbing Man arrives at the mansion himself, feeling the pain and wants the pain to go away, and so he seeks out the house because Tom Fagan can hopefully take away the pain because that's what he does with his Halloween punch, I assume.
Right, right. It's a little weird.
But Tom Fagan doesn't open the door. Who opens the door at the final panel of this issue?
It's Loki.
And Loki's like, "Come on in. We got a Thor to kill." And so this is
To be continued.
the big setup right before the 13th annual Halloween parade in Rutland, Vermont.
Right.
So
And
this
so
is
this issue doesn't really have it doesn't have a parade, it doesn't have costumes, it doesn't have any other creators appearing in it.
they just had Tom
Only
Fagan.
Tom Fagan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we get Fagan setting up though for this. So in the next one, there are 3 issues. This is where the crossover occurs. We have an Amazing Adventures number 16, a Justice League number 103, and a Thor number 206.
207.
Sorry, 207. And I will try to keep track of the shenanigans that goes on because the crossover doesn't occur like you would think a crossover occurs. It's not the Marvel characters that cross over other than people wearing the costumes.
Yeah, or the
It's
DC characters.
or the DC characters. Yeah, it's the Marvel and DC characters. You see them in different costumes, and I've tried to theoretically point out where I think the costume guys are not the costume guys and they're actually the characters. I can't. I think I only did it. I think there's only one occurrence of that, but I'm not certain though. But it's actually the creators, and the creators have their own bridge stories. So this is basically like a horror movie anthology where you get vignette stories sewn together by an overarching bridge story.
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't think about
So
it that way. Yeah.
it's like the Creep Show or any another of the vignette stories I watch. I watched one recently this week called Scare Package. I recommend to all you kids to watch out there. It's a funny done one that does what this does, kind of like meta stories about horror movies, which is pretty good.
Be nice to just have time.
Yes.
I don't have that.
So, but if you're going to watch a movie tomorrow, watch Scare Package or for Halloween.
All right.
But so this kicks
you
off.
do your thing. You do your thing.
Okay. I think I'll let you recap the story. So, The Amazing Adventures number 16, I believe, is the first one. And the name of the story is "And the Juggernaut Will Get You If You Don't Watch Out." And so that's like a scary Halloween thing is, the boogeyman will get you if you're not paying attention. And so we open up with this story with 4 creators from the Marvel Universe driving down the road, bitching about the muffler on the car falling off.
Is it a Mustang, right?
And it's a Mustang, yeah, a classic Mustang, 60 Mustang. And the 4 creators we have, and they all appear in all the 3 episode issues we're talking about: Steve Englehart, Len Wein, Gerry Conway, Len Wein. Well, where's my notes? I had it.
Yeah, your notes don't mention that one, but yeah, you're right.
No, sorry. It's Gerry Conway, Steve Englehart, Len Wein, and Glynis Wein, who is Len Wein's the one at the time, also a Marvel colorist. And so this first issue of Amazing Adventures number 16, which stars the Beast, is done story art by Bob Brown and is written by Steve Englehart. And they're trying to bust hump, when they open up this issue to get to Rutland at the behest of one Gerry Conway, who had recommended it because he had been at the craziness that occurred in the Batman issue at the 12th Halloween parade. This is the 13th annual, lucky number 13. So they're coming up there. This is where it crosses over. Marvel comic with Gerry Conway's in the previous Batman telling him about an issue that he already been there and how craziness it was. Even though there were shenanigans, he still recommends it. Even though there was Nazi killings.
Boom. Mind blown.
Boom.
It's neat how they did this. So it's really because at this time, Marvel and DC were both based in New York City.
Yeah,
too. So, with people crossing between companies like this, it would only make sense that they talk about stories, and maybe sometimes they did something like this without maybe their editors really knowing, and collaborated on a story where they could all take part in it. It's really fun.
yeah. At the time, I believe like a lot of the creators hung out together, and they would trade and do freelance work with each company at the time if they weren't exclusive with one of the companies. So they probably all handled the same bars in New York City and did all the talk comic books and staying up all night to make 10 cents an hour for a page or 10 cents a page, making nothing like they did
Yeah.
before comics became really really a big deal and they actually got paid to do them. So we open up with this, their car's flying down the road, and all of a sudden they see some crazy character, blue fur floating, and they have to screech and pull on the halt because a boogity beast is out there in the road that stops them. And then lo and behold, you see the beast that is the beast from X-Men. This is when he is appearing in Amazing Adventures as his comic. Bounds away, gets dressed up in his Hank McCoy outfit because this is where he has to wear a costume to not look like the beast anymore.
Yeah, it's such a just put on a mask. It's funny.
Yeah, and he looks just like him. So if you read in the Amazing Adventures at the time, he comes up with this like rubbery compound to wear that makes it look perfectly. But he still is as big and hulking as the beast, and his fur doesn't stick out. But he's traveling around with his lady Vera, and they're on their way to Canada to save the world. But they're not in too big of a rush.
Yeah, it seems like they have plenty of time to. They have not plenty of time, but they have a little bit of time. Like it's a rush to get off the side of the road, but once they get to Rutland, not that big a rush.
So their car broke down. They need to get up there, and the creator they come out and hey, can we hitch your ride? And the creator's like, yeah, it's a little stuffy, and it smells like socks in this car, and but we can get you to Rutland. So they drive to Rutland in the car, where they get there and find time, and they're like, oh, thank you guys, and they get out and they're like, the parade's here, it's a big deal, and it's going to be awesome. And so this is where we attempt to follow what the creators do, and we're going to jump around to the next comic. So the creators are in town. So they pick them up and they head to the hotel to check in. So they go into the hotel. The hotel they check into is, of course, you see the sign, and it's the Hotel Bonheur Hotel, which you know what that means, a bonheur in French?
I do not.
It means a good time.
Ah, all
So
right.
they're shacking up at the Love Shack Hotel. So they get there and check in. After they check in, they go check out Tom Fagan's house, where we jump over to Justice League of America number 103. Can you get us kicked off on what happens in Justice League number 103 to start off that issue, which is called A Stranger Walks Among Us?
Right. So in Justice League 103, it pretty much starts out with the Justice League getting summoned to the satellite because that's their base at the time. I don't know if it's called the Watchtower. I don't know if it's called the
It's
Watchtower
on
at that point.
Satellite 1 at the time. I don't look
Satellite
it up.
1. All right. And it turns out they're all summoned by, they thought they were summoned by Batman, but they were summoned by the Phantom Stranger.
Yeah, but it opens up with the Batman being teleported to the satellite, and they are like, "What took you so long?" He's like, "I had to deal with some junk dealing."
Oh, yeah. Junk
Junk
dealing.
dealing.
Oh.
Classic 70s for you kids out there. Junk dealing is
It's like he was busting up illegal pawn shops,
yes.
garage sales.
It does not mean busting up pawn shops. It actually means the smack, the heroin.
Oh, junk deal. That way, yeah. I have that circled over here. I wanted to mention that. It's so funny.
And so yeah, they're all there looking at each other. Who summoned us? And what happens?
So the Phantom Stranger summoned all of them. He just appears in their satellite and they're like, wait, how'd you get in here? They don't even, apparently, this might be their first encounter with him because they have no idea who he is.
The only person that does is somehow Batman knows who he is because it was, I don't know if he's met him or not, or just his encyclopedic knowledge of things, but he's like, the Green Arrow's firing off. I'm like, who's this a-hole that can get through our security? No one can do
Right.
that. Batman's like, you don't know this dude because he's a stranger.
Right. Batman probably didn't know, but on seeing him, used his detective skills and figured it all out.
Yeah. And
That's what I think.
And the stranger comes in and is like, yo, JLA, I need your help because something's going down in the town of Rutland, Vermont.
Right. So yeah, he wants them all to go to Rutland
Which is
because
which size town in Vermont?
That's the second biggest town in Vermont.
Second biggest town in Vermont.
Yeah,
And so
every
they
every issue in the caption has that.
so they walk over to the big map of the United States that they have on the wall, paper map, and Superman does a finger punch right on the town of Rutland with a thwack like that. And it has Rutland on there because it is the second biggest town, so it's big enough to show up on the big map, wall map they have.
There it is.
There it is, which is an image that I believe the town of Rutland actually uses frequently when they advertise the Halloween parade to this date.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool. Do they so they still have the parade to the? I know Tom Fagan passed away, but
Yeah,
they still
but
have the
we'll
parade.
finish out when we get to the end, and I'll hit you up some highlights of what's going on this year.
All right, all right. Yeah. So Phantom Stranger says we got to go to Rutland because Felix Faust, your old enemy, is up to no good. So
Second magic user.
yes. So we had Dormammu, and now we have Felix Faust. So they head out to Rutland, and they're looking around. They're really just wandering around. Do they go to the parade right away, or do they right away start looking in the woods?
So this is where we get back with our creators.
Mm-hmm.
So
So, oh yeah. So one thing in this issue too is the creators. It shows the creators talking about how terrible of a ride it was up to Rutland because the muffler came off the Mustang.
yes, this is where we find out
So that's connection
why
number
they
one.
were bitching about it. So they talk about the muffler, and this is the point where they go from the hotel to Tom Fagan's house first. So they picked up the beast. They got to Rutland. They check into the bone hooer, and then they're like, "Let's go check in on Tom Fagan and our buddies over there." So they go to Fagan's house, and Fagan's really excited to see them because they're still setting up for the parade and everything, and which is a really cool thing. And they're all excited to see him when they get outside on the lawn when they're talking to Fagan. A couple people walk up to say hi to Tom that have already seen Tom before. And who's that? Who's already seen Tom before that says hi to him?
Batman.
Batman's like, "Hey, remember me?" And he's like, "Oh my God, you're back." He's like,
What are
"Yeah."
you doing here? Yeah.
After that shenanigans that went on, you're coming back. He's like, "Oh yeah." And so Batman's like, "Yeah, we're here because we have some disturbances that we have to check out when we're here." And so, what does Tom ask him to do?
So, well, one thing too, though, is so Glynis, right? She's wearing the same
Not yet.
costume.
Not
Not
yet.
yet. We're
Not
not
yet.
talking about that yet. All
No,
right.
no, no. We're talking about that. It's not happened yet.
Not happened yet. All right. Sorry.
This
I'm
is the
jumping.
most difficult thing I have to do is keep track of all this.
My notes aren't in sequential order like this.
Yeah.
So
So we're
you're gonna
jumping
have to
around.
tell me. You're gonna have to tell me what Fagin tells him.
He goes, "Hey, while you're here, I got a big favor to ask." And it's the same favor that he asked the Avengers back in their first appearance of the parade in the 11th annual parade. "Hey, can you guys appear in the parade for me?" And they're like,
Gotcha.
"Yeah."
And they do. Yeah.
Yeah. They hop on a float, and we see riding a float in Green Lantern. At the time, the heroes that we know of that are along with them are Superman, Batman, Flash, Green Lantern, Hawkman, and Green Arrow. And somewhere the Phantom Stranger is, but he's not. He's gonna pop it in. He's not on the parade float.
Right. He's too mysterious.
Yeah. So Green Lantern actually makes a big banner thing for the 13th annual parade with his power ring. Yeah, and you see while they're riding on the parade, you see some other strange characters all hanging around, and we see a Spider-Man, we see a Hulk, a Thor, and eventually we see somebody that looks like Captain America, but he's not. We see a Web-slinger Lad again, and a Norse Thunder guy that looks like Thor, and then we also see Adam Strange, the intergalactic archaeologist, and eventually a Supergirl, a Robin, a Shazam, and a Flash Golden Age. So this is where we're now with the creators. The parade is officially going on now. So this is where we jump back to Amazing Adventures because the creators go back. Glynis puts on her Supergirl outfit, which they can't say Supergirl in Marvel.
Right. So in Marvel, they call her Powergirl.
They call her
right?
Powergirl,
which is interesting. So this issue was from when 1973.
Yeah.
Powergirl wasn't created until 1976.
No, not true. She was created now, 1973.
Well, yeah, but true. But
We've unlocked that. We've unlocked the hidden levels.
We have. So the Powergirl we all know and love, right? That Powergirl, 1976 was her origin. So it's I thought that was really cool how they had to call her Powergirl, but they wouldn't have been able to call her Powergirl had there actually been a Powergirl.
Yeah. So
But also too, sorry. So Powergirl because they couldn't call her Supergirl, right?
correct. They couldn't call it Supergirl because now they're back in. We're back in Marvel Comics in Amazing Adventures number 16. Oh,
So it
sorry.
turns out Powergirl is actually Supergirl from Earth 2 in
What
DC. So yeah,
is the 616 actually Earth 2?
it might be now.
What? We're
Yeah.
unlocking secrets, kids.
Yeah. Boom. Head explode. All right. Sorry. Go
Halloween.
ahead.
So they have gone back. The three guys, Englehart, Conway, and Wein, do not wear costumes, but Glynis Wein does wear a Power Girl outfit. They run back into Beast dressed up as Hank McCoy in his Hank McCoy suit in Vera, and they're like, "Look how awesome this parade is!" And what happens right when they're looking at the parade? And we're in this parade. We do see somewhere off in the background a Superman and a
And a
Flash back
Flash.
there. So I think this might be one of the points where those might be the real Superman and Flash,
Ooh, interesting.
but we
Could
can't see.
be. Could be. And Beast and Veer decide Canada is not that important right now. Maybe we can stay and watch the
Yeah,
parade
yeah.
for a little bit. And then I think the parade gets, then there's some smashing, right?
Out of nowhere, in previous panels, the Juggernaut had been called from his dimension where he'd been hanging out by some mystical force that we do not know about, brought in to
Right.
kill the Beast.
Right. And I don't know if we never find out what that mystical force is, at least in that issue, do we?
So Juggernaut had been banished to the limbo land by Eternity, and Doctor Strange had fought him there because of the jewels of Cyberrock that control him, and so he'd been banished there as part of a thing where he tried to take out Doctor Strange, and we never learned what force calls him. We never learned. So he pops into Rutland, knows he has to kill the beast, but he starts going through town and destroying the floats. Smashity, 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 and the beast leaps into action, realizing no one's there to stop him but himself. And so the beast leaps into action to take on the Juggernaut, and the parade's getting smashed up.
Right. This is pointy helmet Juggernaut. He doesn't
Yes.
have his usual round dome helmet. It's much pointier. But so the beast decides, I'm going to he can't compete with him strength for strength, obviously. So he just kind of leads him out of town. And it's almost like one of these montage scenes where Beast is running through a field, then running up through a mountain, then swimming through a lake. And he just can't escape the Juggernaut. The Juggernaut eventually catches up to him. But then the Beast is able to lose him again, and the Beast for some reason thinks it's a good idea to go to Tom Fagan's house to the party.
Well,
Does
this
something
is
happen in between there? This is all
there's
right.
things that happen in between there
All right,
now.
go ahead. I want to hear it.
So they're doing the big chase and everything. Remember, the creators at the part are at the parade now, and so things are going smashy smashy. And at the same time, if we flip over to JLA again, the floats disappear, all except the ones that the Justice League are riding on.
Right, I remember that.
So somehow the Juggernaut had smashed all of the floats, and they just disappear in the JLA.
Oh, it's kind of like the realities are like interwoven. They're not
Coming,
exactly.
yeah, and
Yeah.
things are happening where the matter is becoming what the matter, and just disintegrating.
So then the Justice League goes out to the woods. Is that what happens
Well, no,
next?
the Justice League goes around and looks at all these people that look like they're slowly getting possessed, and they don't know why. And they look at the woods and they're like, maybe this is Felix Faust doing, so we got to break up and find out what's going on. And so
Split up.
they split up.
Bad idea, but it's fun. It's easier to draw.
Okay. But I skipped over the part where we jumped to Thor 207.
Oh boy, do we really jump
Yeah,
to
I
Thor
forgot. I've
207 at
forgotten
that
about
point?
that. So this is the part where I forgot that between Fagin's house and them going back to the hotel to change before going to the parade, the creators do appear in 207. They briefly saw the makings of the parade, and that's the makings of the parade. They actually saw Superman and another Flash there. So this is where Thor may be intertwining. So in between going from the Beast to the house, there was this appearance on Thor, and they mentioned that they hopefully could get the house in time to say hi to Fagin before the parade if they don't run into any Beast, because the Beast does not appear in the Thor issues.
Right.
And now
Which is
JLA
strange, but
JLA has gone off to the woods to search. So then we kick back into Thor 207, and this is where we flash to the creators, and they're now in a diner because all the parade floats are gone and smashed up, and they don't know what's happening, so they're taking time off to enjoy some food before the parade gets all fixed again. And one Mr. I believe Gerry Conway is a burger aficionado and has at least 4 burgers. Or no, Len Wein has 4 burgers while they're sitting there waiting for the parade to get fixed. And they actually mentioned something's cracked open the parade and they had to fix all the floats, but they don't say what that is, which is the Juggernaut and also the parade float just disappearing.
Right. So it could have happened in either universe. You don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. All we know is Len Wein can eat 4 burgers in a row.
Hell yeah.
That's a burger eating machine.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's got a wife dressed as Powergirl, and he's eating, and she's the one that's Powergirl. I really think he might be the one that should be Power Man.
Yeah, maybe. Either way, that's not a bad thing. Powergirl.
And so while they're eating burgers, Glynis Wein disappears. She goes to the bathroom, and they go look for her because she disappears. And they ask the waitress, "What happened?" "We don't know what happened." And so that's when we jump back to JLA, and the JLA are in the woods, and they're broken up in different teams, and they're set upon by people that have mysterious powers.
Yeah, and they're essentially, from what I remember, costumed Halloween goers in Rutland, Vermont, that Felix Faust has somehow imbued with powers.
He imbues them with the powers of the costumes they were in all of the Buffy episode in Halloween, where they get a mystical spell that turns to people whatever costume you're in, you become that character, and you're able to do what they're able to do. And since they've broken up, I didn't keep track of all the different fights, but I did keep track of all the attackers. And the attackers are one Mr. Commando America from
Commando America,
one Web-slinger, and one Norse god. We also have the Adam Strange. This time it's Supergirl.
Yes.
And then we have a Robin, a Shazam, and a Golden Age Flash. And so each of these people starts taking out a group of the superheroes 2 by 2. And in the first group, it's Commando America and I believe Adam Strange.
Commando America takes down Flash with a shield throw.
Throws them down. Commando America strangely looks like Captain America.
Yeah, it's weird.
And in the next fight scene, we get one where Supergirl is fighting along with, I believe it is a Robin against Batman and the Green Lantern. Hawkman and Batman. And Supergirl attacks Hawkman, takes away his power disc on his chest and knocks him out. And all of a sudden, the blonde wig Supergirl's wearing flies off, and we see it's who?
Is it Glynis?
It's Glynis.
Glynis.
So this is the first time another character or creator has crossed over universes. She actually has powers. She disappeared at the diner. They don't know what happened to her, but she's become mesmerized by Felix Faust and got the powers of Supergirl
in the DC
universe, and got Powergirl's powers maybe in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, and also too, she was in the JLA issue too, and vanished in the JLA issue as well, right?
That's what we'll get around to. They are now searching for her.
Yeah,
in the JLA issue. After we get these big fight scenes where each of the members of the JLA gets taken out 2 by 2, the Phantom Stranger comes in at the end of each panel on a page where they get taken out, and we don't know why, and they're begging for help, but
he just takes one. He takes one object.
He looks like he's taking something, and he just walks off. And they're like, "What the hell, P.S. What you doing to us?
Help us! What are you doing?
Don't stay a stranger."
And we know you now.
So they walk off, and that's what happens there. And so all the JLA are defeated, and Felix Faust has them. Now I've got to remember right. So Glynis has disappeared. She's now become imbued with Supergirl. This is where we go back to Amazing Adventures 16, because the creators think, okay, we got to look for her. She's probably not at the parade. She's probably back at Tom Fagan's. So they rush off to look at Tom Fagan's to see if she's there. And the Beast runs in from getting chased by the Juggernaut to hide out there. And he runs upstairs to hide.
Right. And then Juggernaut busts right in after him.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they have a little fight,
And at
right?
this party, at the Halloween party, we see Doctor Strange, Hulk, Medusa, Nighthawk, which is Tom Fagan, Captain Marvel, Scarlet Witch, Cyclops, and we do see Spider-Man, Roy Thomas again, and Invisible Girl Jeannie Thomas. But we also see a Superman and a Powergirl, which has to be Glynis, and a Flash.
Yeah. So yeah, interesting, right?
Yeah. And
And
so,
so the Juggernaut, after because he's out of that dimension that he was in, suddenly starts aging rapidly and
well,
losing his strength
the beast hides out in fear in
in the
the
attic.
attic for a little bit, and then we jump back into this comic where the creators are running upstairs to look for Glynis in the JLA, but at the same time that they're running upstairs to look for Glynis in the JLA, Beast is running downstairs to attack the Juggernaut in full
Oh,
rage beast mode.
interesting.
So he runs by them, but you don't really see that in this, but we know it from the other one because they're running upstairs. Because the Phantom Stranger has gone back now and re-imbued the superheroes with their powers, the JLA members with their powers.
Right.
And
And
it's like,
so, and what was happening to the JLA is when they got defeated by those costume people, they were subject to Felix Faust's spell of imminent death. So they were about to die,
mhm.
but for
And he
what the
had
Phantom Stranger did.
sent demons on them.
Yes.
And they're just fighting off the demons. So right now, upstairs, Beast running downstairs, going beast crap on Juggernaut, chases Juggernaut out of the house and starts beating him down like he's never beaten anyone down before. Juggernaut becomes weakened and aged all of a sudden because the curse is wearing off. Whoever had summoned him had worn off his powers, and he withers away because the beast beats him down and gets sucked back into that dimension. But while, like you said, the creators are running upstairs, they're looking for Glynis. They start yelling at a guy who has run upstairs because all of his demons and imminent spell death have been defeated. And that happens to be one
Felix Faust.
Felix Faust, and they yell, "Don't jump out the window, Felix!"
Right.
And you know it's not worth it because they start getting chased by the JLA members, and so they run downstairs to try to tell him not to jump, and make sure he's okay when he jumps out. Uh, at this same time, this is when Thor lands in town, chasing the
Absorbing man.
absorbing
Right?
man,
Yeah.
and they're carrying on with a big fight as well that rages across town. And so Thor beats him, knocking him out by knocking him into some water, and he morphs into water and disappears. And then Thor turns around after he morphs in water and sees Loki there, because Loki's like, haha, I tricked you in here and now I'm going to take you out.
Right. Or he's going to have dogs attack him.
Yeah. Well, first he has his dogs attack him because he's mesmerized Tom Fagan and lived in the house the whole time. So Tom Fagan, we have been seeing in JLA and Amazing Adventures, also has been mesmerized by Loki to think everything's hunky-dory.
Right.
And he sends his two dogs, Diablo and Satan, at Thor, but he morphs them into super Asgardian wolves. And of course, Thor deals with them quickly. And then Loki summons the fire sword, using all the powers of all the people there in town that have been he mesmerized that are in costume.
Right. So similar to what Felix Faust did.
Yeah, he uses all their soul powers. So is Loki summoning the power of Felix Faust double magnified to make the fire sword?
Yeah, maybe. Or like the realities are just interwoven so closely on top of one another that Loki and Felix Faust are like the same person.
It's what I don't know. This is where it gets trippy as balls. But if you think about it, Felix Faust has made everybody their powers reflect what they are. And then Loki's using all those powers to suck up to make the fire sword. Is he only able to make the fire sword because Felix Faust has made all the people super powered?
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe.
So he sucks up.
They could be the same person. It's like when on Super Friends when good Superman was trying to stop the volcano and evil Superman was trying to make the volcano go off in alternate realities, and they switched places. So
yep,
something like that.
Boom. but this issue is actually called Fire Sword, so we get the name of the issue coming to life.
Fire
This
sword.
this Fire Sword, and Thor doesn't stand a chance against the Fire Sword,
Well, who would?
and so Loki starts putting him beat down. And then out of nowhere, we see Sif's like, I gotta help out, and Broomhilda's like, no, you can't. Or Hildegard's like, no, you can't. And you've been told by Thor to stay back. You're just along for the ride here. But she's like, no, I gotta help. And then out of nowhere, Carnelia of the Queen of the Norns, who's in love with Balder, comes in and is like, yeah, Balder's got some crap going on, and I need some help to get him. And I'll help Thor, but you gotta promise your help to me, Sif, to drop some magic down.
Right. So then she makes it rain.
So yeah, Carnell's like, okay, I'll do it. And so to help out Thor, while he's getting beaten down, he's losing his powers. She summons a giant storm, which brings the thunder and the lightning, which imbue Thor with all his powers, and he just lays down a big, shocking lightning blast on Loki, which fries Loki's vision and
Oh
powers.
yeah, that's right.
And so we see Loki stumble away crying. At the same time, the creators come back outside Fagin's house because they're yelling at Felix Faust, who had just jumped out of the window, landed on their Mustang, on Steve
Right.
Englehart's Mustang, and Clemson. They're like, oh no, they landed on your car. At the same time, Felix Faust gets in the car, starts it up.
Yeah,
He's
and he
gonna
drives away.
he starts to drive away. At that same time, Glynis comes out of the woods. It's like, I don't know what happened. She's still wearing the super. And this time, she's in JLA, so she's Supergirl. And so she comes out of the woods and like, where'd you go? She's like, I don't know. I was just, tripping and stuff happened. So she had crossed over two universes. That's what
Yeah,
happened.
it's
That's
pretty
that's gonna
impressive.
that's gonna mind blow you. So Felix Faust drives away, and lo and behold, out of nowhere, we see in Thor a Mustang driving up to Loki, and Loki's like, please stop, help me, whoever you are, help me. And the guy's just like, nope, drives away, knocks him over. Loki walks over to a gorge and falls off of it. And they're like, oh no, that guy just, and the creators see this because they're
Yeah.
seeing their car get driven off because like, Steven Hart's my Mustang, my best Mustang with no muffler. Loki runs the car, falls off a gorge and dies, they think. And they're like, this is some crazy crap.
Yeah,
And that's,
doesn't Juggernaut try to steal the car too, but he doesn't?
no, he lands on the car.
He lands on the car.
Yeah.
But Faust drives the car away.
Faust drives the
Hmm.
car away, drives it into Loki, and disappears. And that's how we all end up in this. So Beast never interacts with Thor, even though they're in the same universe, which
Right.
I
Which
don't
is
quite
different for yeah, Thor
understand how
stories.
that works. But in my big theories are here. Like I said, the Fire Sword, I think it only got made powerful enough because it was beating down Thor, but I think it got cross universal powers. Now,
Yeah, that's
at the same
possible.
time, we get a blind Loki. We've had Dormammu appear, and this comes in a little bit in other things. But are Felix Faust, like you said, Loki and Felix Faust, the same magic user that are
Yeah.
mesmerizing people?
Yeah, they could be. I mean, they're
And
very similar characters.
Which one of them summoned Juggernaut?
Yeah. If any of them, right? Could it be a third party? No, it's
I
probably one of
know.
them, right?
Well, it could be Dormammu, who had an
Yeah.
interest in the Bald Mountain and does have interactions with Doctor Strange and Eternity, and summoned him maybe to stop Loki. This is my big drop. Loki and Felix Faust from getting control of Rutland.
Hmm.
That's boom.
Boom. Interesting.
Dormammu,
Behind the scenes.
Dormammu doing it, because Dormammu for the big setup. This all leads into where Loki's blind and gets sent away and scammed away. Dormammu calls on him to get his help to find the evil eye in the first ever Marvel Avengers Defenders crossover.
Ah,
So
nice.
Dormammu had to stop Loki from getting Rutland, and he had to stop, I think, Felix Faust from coming into the Marvel Universe and taking the evil eye.
Hmm.
Because the DC Universe is all about artifacts. They have like the Spear of Destiny, they have all those
Yeah.
books of magic, they have all those things, and he was coming over to get the evil eye.
Interesting.
Because that's what we end up after the big crossover. We have a couple more aftermath issues, Avengers 119, where they go back to Rutland with a blind Loki, and the collector
Uh-huh.
tries to collect them, and this is during Halloween, and eventually at this issue, after they defeat the collector, the Avengers, they leave Loki with Tom Fagan.
Yes, that's not a good idea.
After they had gotten, this was just after the Avengers Marvel crossover, so they bring back Loki back to the Nexus there, uh, uh, and leave him with Tom Fagan, and he's still blind because he's blind still from this issue with Rutland.
Yeah, when they
After
leave him there, but his mind is also wiped out too, right?
yes, because of what happened with the big crossover of the Avengers and Defenders. And eventually, Thor 232, we find out Loki's gotten his body back, but he's switched out so his look with a local boy named Bunker, and so Bunker's dressed as Loki, and Tom Fagan calls into Marvel or Avengers HQ and is like, "Hey, something weird's happened to Loki. He's gone."
He's gone, and the cops are here to arrest me for kidnapping Bunker.
Bunker take me out for kidnapping Bunker. We don't know what's gone. And Bunker, as you can imagine, is a not very quick chap, a young teenage boy that would be named Bunker. Classic 70s style.
Sure, he's real nice though.
And then kind of the final one, those are the last of the Halloween episodes in this. And then Justice League 145, they go back to Rutland with the Phantom Stranger again outside of Halloween. So that kind of closes off, I think, the portal to it, where another magic user,
Count Crystal,
by the name of Count Crystal,
yep, Count
summons
Crystal.
another demon that has also a flame head named Agazor.
Yeah, he looks a lot like his whole body looks like Dormammu's head. Yeah,
But
and this guy Count Crystal kills Superman, which is he's probably one of a handful of guys that have ever done that.
Kills Superman. They get in some tussles. The GLA comes up. Crystal turns out Rutland into his whole own reality. They eventually Phantom Stranger eventually defeats him, and they're able to get back to life as normal. But that closes off where I think maybe Agazor is now imbued with Dormammu's sentient spirit and has decided, I'm going to be the Lord of Rutland, just waiting for what happens here.
Or they're the same.
We don't know. And the question gets posed to one of the Marvel staff, actually to the Watcher during a What If issue in What If number 22, August 1980. And the question is, does Rutland, Vermont annually become a Nexus reality similar to the existing one in the swamp near Citrus, Florida, which is where the Man-Thing is? And editor at the time, Mark Greenwald, says, as the Watcher, while the Nexus in Citrusville is a natural aperture, the Nexus near Rutland is an artificial one that fluctuates in size and accessibility for reasons that I have not investigated, and it has not been opened in recent years. So as far as I can tell, is Dormammu, Agazor have closed it off at Halloween time.
Weird. You think?
That's my big blow, though. I think he summoned the Juggernaut to get a presence to help take out Loki from eventually becoming power, and also finding out about the evil eye too early, and Felix Faust from getting it.
Huh. Well, you, my friend, have a lot of time on your hands.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
This beer has helped inspire me with that thought.
Yes.
Graham crackers have helped me.
Yes. And so there is no, did we talk about Citrusville, Florida?
No, we'll say that for a Man-Thing episode, but that's
all right. There is no such place as Citrusville, Florida in the real world.
We have not investigated this.
Well, yeah, we haven't traversed all of Florida, but I'm pretty sure. So these were fun issues. You think so?
They're awesome. And it's the first crossover. It's so wacky. And it's Halloween, so it's Boogity Books. And it's interesting that it's a party. It has a real life guy, Tom Fagan, that actually organized this in real Rutland. Really got the creators there. They actually dressed in these costumes. They actually took part in the comics by writing this thing. And Fagan existed in the comics world, forever. Actually took care of Loki as his ward, and the craziness that occurred with that. So that's pretty awesome, I think. What do you think about it, KMac?
Well, I think it's cool that it's the first crossover and no one's ever heard of it. Because I never heard of this until you told me.
Yeah, I stumbled on it when reading through the apps, when I read the Avengers issue, the first one, when they go up there with the Lady Liberators. And then I was also reading all Avengers through and through, and ran through the next Avengers that had popped up in with the Collector. And I was like, wait a second, they've gone to Rutland twice, and then I found out there were more Rutland episodes of Marvel, and then I was reading on the DC when I was reading the Batmans in the 70s. Wait, Batman's in Rutland? And I was like, whoa, there's something going on here. So I had to do my research, and there's a wiki page on it that we'll link to on the site. But this, it's appeared afterwards after these 1970s issues, but these are kind of similar issues where there's actually a crossover event. But it appears again, and I think it's just laying there for other creators to come in and really tell good stories. And I was just going to drop some knowledge on the Rutland Parade that I looked up. Right now, the Rutland Parade is the longest running Halloween parade in the U.S. and the largest.
Oh wow, really?
According to their site.
Ah,
So
okay.
Rutland is no longer the second largest city in Vermont.
Oh
Or
no, what is
second,
it?
now it is South Burlington, which is a suburb that was incorporated in 1971 of Burlington.
Boo.
So that replaced it.
That'll always be the second largest in my heart.
And so, in Tom Fagan's house in the comic books, and where they had the party, I don't know if it's his real house in life, was the Proctor Clement house, which you can stay in because it's a bed and breakfast.
Oh, wow, really?
And it was the home of Benjamin. I think it was Proctor. One of the Proctors was the former governor of Vermont, and his two sons were also governors. And he was also Secretary of War for Benjamin Harrison.
Sweet.
So we can go to this house for Halloween, stay where the creator stayed, jump out the window. Felix Faust jumped out of, get a
Steal a
muffler,
Mustang.
steal a
Ah,
Mustang with no muffler on it. This is all possible. And then
and
this
drive
year,
Loki off a cliff.
for the COVID ready parade, they are hanging pictures and dressing up things in the windows of downtown Rutland. So it's a reverse parade. So they're taking pictures of the previous parade and putting them in the windows so people can walk up and see the parade in the streets. Well, not parading, but they can see it,
Yeah, that's
safely
a
and
nice
everything.
idea.
And I believe they're going to dress up like mannequins as superheroes and things like that. But this is all made possible to become the largest parade because Tom Fagan in the 60s decided, hey, we need a theme for this. Let's make it superheroes and comic
Yeah.
books like catapulted it to the state. They have, still people dressed up mainly as comic book characters. They have I've saw pictures where they have large size printout posters of these comic book issues covers that they carry around or put up for the
Oh
parade.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's nice. Yeah, it seems like a really nice tradition that this town has, and it's really cool that he was able to befriend some of the creators at the time, and then they enjoyed him so much that they wrote stories including him and incorporating the town into the story. So, and especially like what a cool thing that it's the first like unofficial Marvel DC crossover. I mean, that's a really neat story.
And I hope all of you out there could follow along with me with the creative stories. It was not easy to do because I had to reread these comics like 4 or 5 times to
Yeah,
actually.
you must have like a serial killer board
I
in your
do
room.
with string and yarn.
Yeah. Ugh.
So when you read them, you can't read. There is no order. It's all literally, like I said, horror movie anthology for Halloween, just like you want to watch on TV this Saturday coming up,
It's like
October 3rd.
it seems like it's panel to panel almost.
Yes, which
Yeah.
is just amazing, mind blowing things. Felix Faust wants the evil eye. Dormammu may be the same guy as Agazor. Felix Faust and Loki might be the same guy.
Right. That's
We don't
cool.
know. They mesmerize people. They may exist. Universes almost might have collided. There's a fat Superman out there.
Yes, there is. And
So,
someone in DC likes Havok.
yeah. So how did you like this beer for what do you rate the beer we're drinking today?
I really liked it. I mean, I normally, I wouldn't say I'm like I dislike dark beers, but it's so hot down here. I don't get to drink dark beers very much, but I really enjoyed this one. It's super sweet too for a Halloween type beer. So I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 flaming heads,
Nice, nice. Four out of
flaming
flaming head.
Dormammu heads. Yeah,
For a beer that has coffee, a coffee kind of back in. I don't usually like the coffee beers, but this one, there's a lot of coffee porters. It's not too heavy because it gets, I think, pulling away by the marshmallow taste more, which is awesome. And that it does have that little graham cracker marshmallow s'more taste, which is pretty amazing for a s'more. So flaming head makes sense for like a flaming marshmallow taste, and I might give it, I think, 4.5
ooh,
Rutland floats smashed by Juggernaut or made disappeared by Felix Faust.
Wow, that's a high rating for you.
That's a solid beer, especially at 8.4%. So
yeah, and specially canned. Can't
yep.
get better than that.
And arrived fresh and not completely open.
Nice. Yeah, he said he fills them up extra high, and that's why it leaks a little bit out of the top. So perfect. Whatever. More beer.
I ain't gonna lie, because we had a crossover, and so we're kind of already run long because we really wanted to do these issues, justice. For all of you out there, if you want to hit us up with an email and talk about these wonderful stories, you can send us an email at cbcopodcast, all one word, at gmail.com. Hit us up at Twitter at cboc_podcast, or hit our Instagram page at comicbooks_cold ones Instagram. We love to hear your beer suggestions. We love to hear your comic book suggestions. If you have some Boogity stories for next Halloween that you need to cover, let me know. Or if you want to hear about all the 30 some odd movies I've gone through for Halloween reviews and stories, I can tell you a little bit more about that. That'll get posted here coming up on Saturday.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Thanks everyone for listening. We really appreciate it. And of course, have a happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. And maybe next year we'll come from the second largest. We'll be broadcasting from the second largest town in Vermont.
Hell yeah. All right. Good night, everybody.